Salud.
Salud.
With our café con leche.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, yeah, this is going to fucking wake you up. Mr. Trinidad, welcome to the Ride Boundless podcast. Bro, we've been back and forth to do this interview. I'm happy it's happening on a Saturday, on a beautiful day. First of all, where are you coming from? Because you hit some bad traffic, it seems like.
Yes.
And it took you a minute.
Yeah, I come from Oxnard, California.
Oxnard in the place.
Yep, 805.
805, man. Beautiful spot. And Trinidad, how would you introduce yourself? A quick brief of your background, and then I want to talk about some of these amazing stories that I've heard rumors of. You know, so how do you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Trinidad Garcia III. I'm the head janitor at Trinidad 3.
Yeah, boy.
Creative director.
Yes.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran.
Thank you for your
I was a sergeant. I was with 2-7, 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines out of 29 Palms, and then I served with 2nd Battalion, 23rd Marines Golf Company over in Pico Rivera.
Wow, man. Thank you for your services on that.
Oh,
how many years?
8 years.
8
total.
years, man.
Yeah.
You miss it?
I miss all my buddies. Yeah, definitely.
You stay in touch with a lot of them?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. And I found purpose and mission what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Trying to lead by example and show them that there is life post-service. And that's what keeps me going every day.
And back then, right before you joined, what was the reason that you did join? Was it like life's fucking wild and crazy and I have no direction, or, you know, I got nothing? Like, what was the thought?
I was chasing a dream early on.
Yeah.
So
what was that dream?
Fashion. Yeah.
Fashion.
I was a screen printer.
Yeah.
I had a clothing line, and I ended up renting a space at the California Market Center, and it just changed ownership and had new management.
Yeah.
So I don't even know why they let me in, but they let me in there. I had no idea what I was doing. So I was hustling, needed to raise money. So I started a trucking company. So my brother worked at a finance company, and I was able to finance a used truck. And then I was hauling strawberries from Oxnard to Seattle, and then eventually cross country, Oxnard to Portland, Maine.
Wow.
Yep. And I was running.
So you were screen printing, you own a truck, you're doing national stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
And then you decided to go to the Marines?
Well,
this is weird. Interesting. Not weird. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, the way it kind of led up was all my trucks broke down.
Yeah.
There was a freeze in California. Diesel shot up to over $5-6 a gallon. This is like 2006 time frame. I lost my house. My daughter was a newborn, and I needed to restart my life.
Yeah.
So my father is a Vietnam veteran, and my grandfather served in World War II, Korea and Vietnam. So the military was exposed to me early on, and I had always thought about serving, but my dad had advised, like, hey, go to college first and, try some other ventures, and the military will be there. And so I joined at 31 years old.
Really? Yeah, which if people don't know, that's pretty late.
They used to call me grandpa.
Yeah, the cutoff is like 34, 35?
It was 27, but you can get an age waiver in the Marine Corps because of a Navy order up to 35, but it was very rare to get that they would do that. So I actually had to sign up on the East Coast.
And I'm guessing you signed up as a E1?
So since I had an associate's degree, I was able to go in as an E2.
Yeah. Same shit. Same shit. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, 50 cents more an
same
hour.
Father. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
But so I joined the Marine Corps to restart my life.
Yeah.
But and at the time, since fashion, I felt like I had a bad experience, put it that way. With fashion. And I'm like, I just want to, start over, and didn't really want a whole lot to do with fashion.
Yeah.
However, when I was talking to the recruiter, I did see that FITM was on there, the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising.
Yeah.
I asked him, I said, so you're telling me if I join the Marine Corps Infantry that I can attend this fashion school? And he said, well, it's in the book. I don't know why you would do it, but yeah, it's in the book. So yes. And I'm like, all right. So I was like, I'll keep options open and see what happens.
Yeah.
So as when I started fashion school, I was actually stationed in Los Alamitos. And then since I was the same age as those retiring, my first sergeant and everything, like, hey, you should probably, if you're going to transition out, like start setting yourself up.
Yeah.
And so I told them that, I wanted to go to fashion school. And they, of course, questioned it. I showed them like my old work and portfolio, and then they supported me. And I got accepted into the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. I was still on active duty while I was going there.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, so it was.
Do you think your age played a role? Like if you would have turned back the time and you would have joined at 20 years old, do you think you kind of would have had a similar outcome? Or do you think because you were at that age and getting along with people that were retiring and there was kind of a push there?
It was interesting you say that, because when I went in, I was 31 years old, and then I was around 17, 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
Mainly, those were my peers. So it was
it's crazy.
I kind of forgot like how old I really was. And then I would go to family parties and people my age or whatnot. I wasn't like interacting with them. I was interacting with the younger crowd.
Right.
The younger kids and whatnot. And I think obviously because I was more mature and kind of life punched me in the face before joining, my outlook was different. But again, in retrospect, I'm glad I didn't go, when I did.
Yeah.
And I just felt that when I did go, I was able to find purpose, because back then, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot going on. I would have joined in 95.
Yeah.
So, but speaking to like Marines that I met that did join in 95, 96, they were, when I was with 27 Weapons Company, the company commander was class of 95. First sergeant was class of 95. And I was the one that was running with the guide on. So all three of us, we would say, hey, class of 95, leading the way.
Class of 95 leading the way.
Yeah. So we were leading all the battalion hikes and runs and whatnot.
That's fucking awesome.
And
But did you feel, you must have felt a lot of pride too, because you're keeping up with these 18-year-old, 19-year-old, you're running with them, you're doing push-ups with them, you're whatever, all the exercises, shooting, you're doing a bunch of stuff. And it's like, dude, I'm not twice their age, but
pretty close.
10, 12 years on top.
Well, in boot camp, there's one kid that outran me by 10 seconds in the final PFT.
One kid.
One.
Hilarious.
Out of 81.
Yeah.
So I outran 80 of them. I was doing at the time 36 pull-ups.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. I was a gym rat.
Yeah.
I used to love working out.
Yeah.
And then when I made it to the School of Infantry, same thing. Like I was just running circles on these kids, and since I knew how to work out,
of your life.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah.
And since I knew how to work out, I knew recovery. I was older, smarter. I knew take your aminos and my stacks. I had it all figured out. So,
do you have access to a lot of that stuff in boot camp? In boot camp, no.
Not in boot camp, no.
Not in boot camp.
Yeah.
No
boot
proteins,
camp, no
creatine,
nothing.
No whey,
not even coffee.
Not even coffee.
Nothing.
Not even coffee.
No. No stimulants whatsoever. Yeah. So it was a little rough in the beginning because I was used to taking pre-workouts and drinking coffee and whatnot. But you get used to it. The body adapts, and they do a good job in keeping you busy. Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, once you get into that habit, it works.
Right. And then even, when I was 34 years old, they sent me to a corporal's course, and there was 72 Marines, and I was the honor graduate. And I had the highest physical fitness test score.
But that's amazing.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah. And then I got to mentor younger Marines, teach them how to lift and, work out. And they all wanted to do like MMA stuff, ground fighting all the time. And I was just...
What got you into the whole fitness thing? And then just to get, the reason I'm so curious about that is because, just in the last 5 years, I really got into fitness. Now I'm even more of a gym rat than ever. Before that, I've always been active, but you know, I've made this comment many times. If I run into my 27-year-old self or 34-year-old self, I would destroy him right now. Like the shape that I'm in right now is like the best shape ever. And it's interesting because I feel that because I got into it later, I'm more into it now, and I'm not like worn out. Like, you know, I've seen a lot of, like, have you seen the world's strongest kid? Remember him in the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen him now?
No.
Oh, dude, he doesn't work out at all. He's like, I got bored. I'm tired of it. At like 22, he was just this weak, scrawny little kid. You know? And you're like, dude, and I met him.
Oh,
I
wow.
met him at his prime in Glendale. I was selling him a car back then at 2000, 2001. And he was ripped, like just ripped. But what got you? Were you always a gym rat back then, back in the days before you joined? I mean, how did you get all this experience and all this knowledge?
Yeah, well, I used to, back in the day, I played baseball, and then after that, I played soccer through high school, and then my first year of college. And then I got into mountain biking, and then after that, I got into the gym. Well, I got like really big.
Yeah.
And then I got into the gym, wanted to lose weight, and then I really like got into enjoyed bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And
I think that's like when it was big too.
yeah,
right?
yeah, it was like
Especially all our what year is this? 90s?
yeah, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And I mean it was big, and so I just kind of got into it and was always lean, wasn't like really into the big, big dudes, but really liked that lean look.
Yeah, I call it like the hiking body or something, or like the swimmer's body.
Right.
Just lean, ripped.
Just lean, lean, ripped, and I, put on a little bit of mass, and but I really enjoyed like, the pump, the feeling that you get, and then after, and was really dedicated. I mean, I was going a couple times a day, 5-6 days a week, and then when I was in the Marine Corps, I knew that I needed to work a lot more on my cardio. So I got into running. Yeah. And I was doing a lot more running, but loved the lifting. Yeah. Portion of it. So I'd always I think we all
do, right?
Yeah. I mean, some of the guys were really, like I said, were really into the CrossFit. That's when that started to, hit.
Yeah, P90X or,
they're flipping tires and, rolling around, choking each other out. And, I was kind of more into boxing, to be honest with you, growing up. And, but then that's all they wanted to do. So that's how I met one of my closest friends. Yeah. Shout out to Dr. Brian now.
Dr. Brian.
Yeah. He's a chiropractor, so he's going to be even my closest friend. But, I met him ground fighting, and he put my face in the sand, and then next thing you know, I ended up choking him out, and we became best friends and taught him how to lift. And so when we were deployed and on ship, we would I had downloaded Pumping Iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, of course.
So we would, take our pre-workout, watch that, and then when it kicked in, we would just murder the gym on ship and even out there in Japan. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so then we would do that. We watched it hundreds of times. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question about your thoughts on David Goggins. Actually, what do you think of David Goggins?
I think he's done a lot of good stuff for himself. Yeah. I know I was fortunate to meet like some people of the SEAL community and whatnot. And I have respect for his elite physical fitness and mindset and whatnot. Yeah. And I've never met him, but I think, he's trying to inspire others, and I think that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the reason I ask is because every time I hear, like, you go to the gym and, getting it hard, and he has that get hard thing, and I'm like, oh, David Goggins kind of, like, locked that in. Oh, yeah. And because being a military guy. Let's get to some juicy stuff, man. I heard a rumor, and I think this is the most noble, most beautiful thing. And again,
let's get the cheesiness going. Come on.
That when you got out of the Marine Corps, one of the first things, if not the first thing you did, is you started making clothing for people missing limbs and body parts. What is that true? And what is the story behind that? Because that's just mind-boggling. you know, not mind-boggling, but that's just so noble and beautiful. You know, I want to make sure I just, you know, I'm describing this.
Well, for me, it was one Marine helping another Marine.
Yeah. So it's true.
Period. It's authentic. It's true.
Authentic.
Yeah. The Cheeseman rumor is true. And I launched the brand and was doing an event called Operation Jump 22, merging vets and players and support of Sable Foundation. And I met Corporal Josue Barron, and he had a really high prosthetic. He was wearing shorts, but looked really fashionable. Like, he was into fashion. He wanted some jeans. And when I had a conversation with him, and he
was all about like the shoes, and he had a cool top.
Oh yeah, he had his from the sunglasses to the jacket.
What were the glasses? Just curiosity.
They were I think they were like some Gucci. Yeah, nice. He was wearing some nice stuff.
Yeah.
But he said he wanted to wear the jeans, but he couldn't because of his prosthetic. He needed to access it. So.
And when you mean access, is you're talking about like adjustments when he stands up, sits down, jumps in a car. You have to make modifications, right?
Right. Every time he stands up or sits down, he has to make an adjustment, release the leg because it'll dig in pretty high, and it's very uncomfortable for him to sit down.
And the only thing that really favors that is shorts.
Shorts, yeah. You know, so he would mainly only wear shorts, and but. I mean, like, you think about it, we take for granted, like, just a pair of blue jeans, right? Like, it's just something we don't even think about.
Yeah. And
here was a Marine that really wanted to wear a pair of blue jeans, but had a problem. And I asked him, I said, hey, do you mind, if you come over to the factory, we'll sit down with my pattern maker and we'll, observe you. We took him out to lunch, and he's like, yeah, okay. He stopped by. And I watched him, get off the vehicle, walk up, sit down, and then from there, I devised a design that I just didn't want it to be a hospital pant. I wanted it to be something on trend and something that he would like really want to wear. Yeah. And in this case, like, there really was no in between. It was either a terrible pant or something cool.
Right.
So I did not want to disappoint him at all. But within 48 hours, we had his jean, and he came back for the fitting. And he says it really changed his life. He was able to.
And to talk about it, you basically made like a slit with a zipper axis. And as he stands up and sits down, he can just open it, adjust, modify whatever he wants, close it back up. And you made this very stylish matching on both sides, right?
Yes.
So it's like the style's there, and you don't even know what legs, you don't even know what's going on. You just see some stylish jeans.
No, I wanted him to feel some privacy when he wanted to.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome, man.
Yeah. And so I designed it with a couple zippers, and did some cut, kind of like motorcycle inspired, G-Star inspired look.
That's the vibe I got, yeah.
Yeah, that was the vibe I was shooting for. And I ended up doing that jean, and then we showed it at Project 2020 in Las Vegas. And
big fashion show.
Yep, the big fashion show.
2020?
Yeah, 2020.
2020.
Yep. Great year, right?
Yeah, I know. What month was that? Obviously before COVID, so January.
Yeah, it was February. Yeah.
Because March is when this shit hit the fan.
Yeah, it was like the first week of February.
Yeah.
Yep. And so it ended up winning Best Showpiece 2020. Yeah, so we got a...
Sorry, I'm going to use the sound effects like crazy, because that is badass, dude.
Yeah.
That is super awesome.
And what was the most rewarding for me was when he showed up over there to, quote unquote, help me out.
Yeah. To support you.
To support, yeah. He said that the jean made a big impact in his life, and that he wanted to help me.
Yeah.
And he drove himself.
And he needed more jeans like that.
Oh, yeah. And...
Just kidding.
No, and we can touch on this about finding purpose and a mission, and kind of where we fit, in society and And what, I mean, as much as it did for him, it also helped me out tremendously.
Right.
But he drove with, he lost his left eye and left leg and drove himself to Las Vegas from Temecula, was in the booth. He was walking around with me, and I was giving him a tour. And we ran into this author of Denim Dudes, and she was putting on the denim trend there at the show, and ran into her. Shout out to Amy. And she was Amy from Denim Dudes. And I introduced her to Josue, and she was like, right away, she's like, those are some cool jeans. And then I said, Amy, there's a story behind it. You know, he's got a prosthetic. And she said, really? Which leg? And I wish I had a camera. Yeah. Every time I talk about it,
this is the second time I heard it, and I'm like, goosebumps. Like,
yeah. And I wish I had a camera to, see his face. And he ended up, he made a video for me without telling me, and we've been working together, ever since.
Yeah.
And then of course, and that's how Nordstrom first found out about us.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so
well, before we get to Nordstrom's, because that's the ending.
Yep.
So then you get into this, you get into more fashion, and then I think the next thing is you sign up with some celebrity named Frankie Loya from Sons of Anarchy's, Mayans, motorcycle club. What's the connection there? How did that work?
Frankie.
First of all, I'm sorry. Congratulations on all your success. Congratulations on all the good things. God bless your heart. Your father, mother, I could tell you were raised in a good family, brothers and sisters.
Oh, yeah. I had the chancla.
You had the chancla, that's right, that set you straight.
Oh, yeah. El
cinto, all of it.
All of it,
but,
yeah.
But,
brother, sister.
I don't know if anybody knows this or doesn't know this, but this is the second time we've ever met. And we briefly talked about how when we first met, we hit it off. And it didn't feel like we were meeting new people. To me, it was like I don't know. It was so cool. And again, the reason I'm interrupting you is I just want to say congratulations, because from the little that I know, even the story about what you did, I heard that randomly from another person. Randomly, it was just a random thought. It's not no research I did or anything. That's Luis. I don't know if you know Luis from Bike Shed.
Oh, yeah.
He started telling me about that. He's like, Trinidad, and did you know how we started off? And I was like, what a beautiful story. And that came naturally. So your energy and the outside view of people and the things that I've heard of you are just awesome, man. So I want to say congratulations on that. And then the whole Frankie Loya thing, and then the whole Nordstrom's thing is amazing. So anyways, back to Frankie.
So Frankie first learned of the brand through Espinosa Leather.
Yeah.
They carried us.
Those guys are awesome.
Yeah. Eric, shout out to Eric.
Eric.
Heck yeah. He supported us early on. Like, I'm talking 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
in what way? Material, financial, all of the above?
He purchased our jeans wholesale and was selling them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We launched this American Selvage jean July 4th, 2020.
Yeah.
I went online, and so with Frankie first came across the brand there, and then he had reached out. And
he reached out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how strong your story is, dude.
Yeah, he reached out, and then we met, and I got to talk about authenticity and positive energy. Hearing his story and him, he doesn't own a car. He has 2 Harleys.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
so he rides every day.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that there was a jean that he really liked, and then it was discontinued and whatnot. And I said, let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
So we worked together, and I developed a pattern that worked for the motorcycle enthusiast, and mainly him, because that's what I was focused on.
Yeah.
and he was he was blown away. Like we nailed the pattern. He ended up putting over 20,000 miles on the first prototype.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So, yep. And then
was it so he wanted to partner up before you even made anything, and then after you made it?
We partnered up after. Again, like as you're getting to know me,
Yeah.
now that this is our second time.
Yeah.
I really believe in authenticity and honesty, integrity, and I don't go out there like, pumping myself up or trying to, bother people or anything. If it's real, like it'll happen, I believe.
Yeah.
And I like to surround myself with people that have the same values.
Yeah. Amen to that.
And with Frankie, he and I, like, we were just, denim is really important to the motorcycle community.
Yeah.
American denim has been, it's lost, right?
Right.
I challenge people to find a jean that's made in the U.S., especially for those that ride. And a lot of people have been wearing Levi's. It's a heritage brand. Thinking back to what made the blue jean an American icon is credited, and it's just not me saying it. I have a degree in denim, but in 1953, the movie The Wild One with Marlon Brando.
Right.
Outlaw, biker movie. After that, then James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, the rest is history, right?
Right.
Before that, it was in the biker world and just workwear.
Right.
And then it got into pop culture. And then from there, the rest was history. Yeah. So working with Frankie and in the background, what I didn't realize is that we were making denim history. Fast forward 1953 to 2023, an American blue jean back in Hollywood in an outlaw bike show, Mayans MC.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So he wore the jean in the show. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Part of, we developed it during the end of season 4, and we tuned it in all of season 5. He was wearing, the Loyal by Trinidad 3.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So then
you can't even imagine certain things like that in life. Like there's no way, any time in your life previous to that moment that you could have that vision, like one day I'm going to design a jean with so-and-so or a famous actor. And it's going to be on a TV show. Like that's hardcore, dude.
When I was 5, 6 years old, my favorite time of the year was back to school shopping.
Really?
Yeah. So my mom would take me to Mervyn's.
Yeah.
And
they're still around now.
No.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. But I would see the jeans like Levi's and then I just had a vision like of my name on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But we were limited in resources and struggling. So, I'd have to get creative, and my mom would be like, all right, you can get 1 pair of pants and 5 shirts, or you can get, 2 pants and 2 shirts and so on and so forth. So
yeah, as
a kid, I didn't want to be known as a poor kid at school.
Right.
So I would get creative and set up my outfits. So I knew I couldn't remember what somebody wore on Monday and it was Thursday or Friday. So then I would adjust my outfits.
Yeah.
And was already like
so you were
styling.
Into it,
yeah. Oh yeah. I've always been into even playing, sports when they would come with the uniforms, like everyone was ignoring them. And I was like a kid at a candy store.
Yeah.
And so, when we had the opportunity to work with Frankie, he wore it in the show, put more miles on other prototypes. That's when, the show, ended. And we connected on another level, where he was experiencing a transition.
Yeah.
And there was a strike going on, so no one was working. And I recognized through my transition in the military, there were some similarities.
Right.
So we were able to talk about it, and which made our bond even stronger. And again, all rooted in denim,
Yeah.
right? In jeans. And then we decided to, partner up. So, we drew up the paperwork, did everything, the right way. And then from there, we were really blessed. We met with, we did a photo shoot with Esteban Oriol.
I'm not familiar.
He shot the LA Fingers, the famous LA Fingers in 95. And he put out a documentary, LA Originals, in 2020. Was
Dude,
on
you've
Netflix.
been blessed, dude.
Yes.
You've really been blessed.
I know.
I'm sure you know this, but like just another reminder, count those blessings. Those are beautiful, man.
Yeah. And that's why I know, like, I have a purpose. There's a reason why I'm here. And I just keep going no matter what.
That's amazing, man.
And so we shot with Esteban. And then from there, we had a meeting. Right after the shoot, we went over to Bartell's and met with Debbie, the manager.
Yeah.
And she,
love the people at Bartell's.
Yeah, yep. Shout out to Bartell's. A lot
Big
of
time.
love. Yeah, Ron, Glenn. Yeah,
They're
give them
all-
multiple.
Colton, all of them.
All of them.
They're all badass.
All of
Bartell's is a good spot all around.
Talk about being blessed.
Yeah.
I shared my story with Debbie, and her son-in-law is in the Army. And so they support veterans. They saw the quality. They saw, like, the gene. And she's been there for since, I believe, 93.
Yeah.
So she's seen it all and just got a lot of experience. And she said, hey, I want to be the one to launch you.
Yeah.
So within 2 weeks, we planned a launch.
So you were selling your stuff there.
Yeah,
too?
Bartell's carries. Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep. Bartell's carries the Loyal and Trinidad 3. Yeah.
Wow.
They're the first. And so we did a release party on 2 weeks' notice. And I mean, again, blessed. We had an overwhelming support. We had over 1,000 people roll through that day. And we were selling jeans, inspiring veterans. We had, emerging vets and players out there and other organizations, the Sabo Foundation, who's been with me from the very beginning.
Dude, you're a big deal.
No. I'm just big.
Yeah, man. That's
no, I mean, I don't even think about that, honestly.
I mean, nobody in your position or not this many good things happens to somebody that thinks they're a big deal. This happens naturally to people that don't even think about being a big deal.
No, because I'm still I feel I'm still climbing.
Yeah, you're humble as hell, man.
I'm probably the best brand people don't know about.
Yeah.
And I value every opportunity. Like I told you the day I met you, if you have one listener on your podcast, I really admire the opportunity to be able to share my story, and I'm humbled, and honored to share that because. And
I love that because it's true what you said. We were talking about that. You just met me, you just met Hyman, and we all hit it off. Lennon made the quick introduction. Thank you, Lennon.
Yep.
And Jaime was kind of pumping me up, like, you should do Robert's podcast and top 5, blah, blah, blah. You're like, I don't care. He could have one listener. Like, you didn't say I don't care. You were just like, it doesn't matter. He can have one listener. I'll do his podcast. Yeah. And very authentic.
Yeah.
Very.
No, and then again, I just felt that energy from both of you. And then you guys were looking at my artwork.
Yeah.
Jaime put on the jacket and then
took it.
Yeah, he bought it.
We bought it.
And he said, I'll be back.
And he bought it. Yes, exactly.
He bought it. Yeah.
No favors, no.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, he bought it. It was awesome. It was beautiful.
Yeah. And I gave him a discount, at the show, good vibes. I gave him a little discount. And he appreciated it. And just the energy and the, my opportunity to show my work.
Yeah.
And how it was received. And as artists, that's really our payment.
Yeah.
And even the first meeting I had with the big retailer, I had told the buyers, I said, whether you guys buy from me or not, I'm already successful. I can say that I helped change someone's life in a positive way.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good. It'll happen when it happens.
Another thing I want to bring up, the day that we met, number one, energy was through the roof. The interaction, very authentic. But I loved how excited you were talking about the machines that you got making your jeans. They're like 1950s, and you had, I don't even know what you had. That thing looked like a fucking alien UFO object. I was like, what is this? And you were like,
The
look
shuttle
at
loom.
you like literally, Nate, nice to meet you. Yeah, you want to buy it? Cool. Check this out. I just got new machines. And tell us about the machines. Tell us about what I'm talking about, because I sound crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'll backtrack. I'm a denim nut, and it's been part of my therapy in my transition. My therapist at the VA, she said that every time I would talk about denim, I would like come to life.
Yeah.
And she said, don't ever let it go. And anytime I had any type of anxiety or dissociation or anything like that, she advised that I take a piece of denim and I just have it in my pocket. So I always had a piece of denim with me.
Wow.
And so
And I'm sorry, who was this?
My therapist at the VA.
Yeah, the VA. Okay.
And so what you experienced was me like excited genuinely about denim.
Yeah.
And
I mean this in such a good way. Please don't take this negative. No. You just went from like, you just made a shirt. You just met a celebrity that you almost didn't recognize, and then you recognized, but you didn't accept that it was him, and then you realized it was him, and then you sell it, and then, I mean this in a good way, you turn on full denim dork. Yeah. Like you were just, guys, check this out. And I love that. And Jaime loves that kind of stuff. And we're like, dude, sorry, continue.
Yeah.
Like,
no, well, I mean, obviously, Jaime is a well put together gentleman, and so are you. And I knew that you guys would appreciate learning a little bit more of this craft because, I know a lot about it, and I love to share it. For selfish reasons, it makes me feel really good. I'm like excited about it. It's like my thing. Yeah. And then I see the reaction I get from people and think about it. Like the blue jean is cool. It's the epitome of like cool. And so I was talking about it, and I had a piece of the wooden, shuttle loom, and those Draper X3s, they're the ones that ran the production for Marlon Brando. Levi's 1953. They're built in the 50s, 60s, and the newest one was from early 1970s. So it was...
Jeans in the 70s were like the thing.
They were the thing, yeah.
In the 70s. Like
people pay a lot of money.
I think that if I was to guess, let's see how good my guessing is, the jean jacket came out in the 70s, or did it come out before that?
Before that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bad guess.
Yeah.
Well, I got a
wah,
wah.
It's all right. It's all right. You can dive in. We'll have that conversation another time. But
yeah, I want to talk about the machines, because when I wanted to do the podcast with you, like the two biggest things that I want to talk to you about was that, how you guys are making it in these machines, and the Frankie Loya, and then everything else started unraveling. I was like, oh, wow. And then the Nordstrom's deal.
The more you scratch is you'll find, more things. I think the book, whenever I write it, it's probably be pretty good. So there's a few more chapters we need to live through to make that happen. But you'll certainly be in there.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
And so those machines they're historic. They lived over at the White Oak plant, who they opened up in 1903 and they shut down in 2017.
Wow.
And I was one of the last, when I was in the denim program at FIDM, we toured the plant. And I got to see them, in production. And then that was in September. We ended up going to Denim Days in Amsterdam, October, and they announced that they were shutting down. Wow. So I still have my visitor pass, and I have like everything. And I built my brand on like American denim and made in USA and whatnot. And then the denim mill that I wanted to source denim from shut down.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And
the timing on.
Yeah. And then another mill acquired the machines, and they got them turned on, and I was there for a while. And I got to like really nerd out to the point where I met with cotton farmers, cotton seed suppliers, fertilizer companies. Like,
wow.
I
like deep.
Yeah, I was exposed to, like, it was deep. Yeah.
And I don't know if we mentioned it on the podcast yet. I know we talked about it right before. Your degrees are you have 3 degrees?
I have 3 from FITM, apparel industry management, which is half fashion design, half business, advanced study in menswear, and advanced study in denim. Yeah. And then I just finished mentoring 2 programs, the denim program and then international product development. We worked on the luxury collection for Trinidad 3.
Yeah.
And then I was honored to be a judge at FITM's last runway show. It's their 44th annual runway show, and their last one. They got acquired by Arizona State University. So FITM, as it was, does not exist anymore. They're going through some changes.
Yeah.
But to be able to be a judge there amongst like some, very reputable people in the industry was an honor. Yeah. And while I was there, I was the president of the Student Veterans of America FITM chapter club for 3 years.
Yeah.
And before I graduated, I was instrumental in opening up their veteran center.
Wow.
So my dress blues are still there. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So
so I'll just give you this quick little brief history about myself. Very poor fashion sense. In high school, I didn't care what I wore. I dressed terrible. I ran into some of the girls that, I used to date with in high school, and they ran into me like in my later 20s and stuff like that. And they're like, dude, you dress so much better now. Like, you dress terrible. So I have no fashion sense. So I was hanging out with Luis the other day, and I have these jeans. They're G-Star, but they were Japanese denim, 14 ounce, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That's the pitch that sold me. But I hated the fit because it's not. I need to wear fitted stuff, so it makes me look taller and skinnier and whatever the case is. So I don't like the fit. But then, Luis is like, dude, those are nice jeans. I'm like, yeah, I don't like the fit. He goes, bro, they look great on you. You just fold the bottom up. And I folded the bottom, and he's like, hey, those are Selvage. What is it?
Selvage.
Selvage? Mm-hmm. Those are Selvage jeans. And I was like, oh, yeah,
Cool.
And then I saw like there's a little red line. I'm like, oh, so what's the deal with Japanese denim and salvage?
Yeah. The old shuttle looms, because of that shuttle that goes left to right, it actually finishes the edge.
Right.
So it's derived from a self edge.
Right.
Selvage denim. So they're made on vintage looms. And there are some modern ones, but the original stuff, like again, talk about being blessed. Denim program, I went to Kuroki, Kaihara, over in Japan. So I got to
everywhere.
I went deep, hermano. I went deep into the denim world. And again,
how did your wife deal with this?
She's the most supportive person that I've ever met. Again, I am blessed. And we have 2 kids. And
how old?
Aiden is 12 and Isabella is 17.
Wow, man. Beautiful. Congrats.
Yep. And then talk about strength. I mean, I met Aiden when he was 6 months. I was deployed when he was born.
Wow.
And my wife, I was on ship and I mean, she's my rock. Yeah. She's my rock. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
so
behind every powerful man, there's a powerful woman, right?
100%, without a doubt. I wouldn't be where I'm at and have these opportunities if it wasn't for her and her strength of, holding it down and supporting me through this whole venture because it's not typical.
Yeah.
And I deployed twice, so I mean that alone was a year out of our life. Each deployment was 6 months, plus the workup, plus being gone, and then I transition out, and then I'm in school finishing up the programs, which was challenging, plus my mental health struggles, and then I start a business, which again just takes up
all your time,
everything,
all of it,
100%. Yeah, any extra time it gets swallowed up.
Yeah.
So her strength has really helped me continue to push forward, and she believes in the mission that we have, and now as a family, because I asked my kids, I was like, hey, I know I was gone. I served for 8 years. I wasn't in your lives as much as I would have liked to be. If this is a lot, like I'll stop. I'll continue. I was working as a contractor for the Navy, teaching small arms, and I was running a simulator. So I could just do that, and I'm here. And they both were like, "No, Dad, like this is really awesome what you're doing. Keep going."
We're proud of you.
Yeah, so they were really proud. And my daughter finally found out really what I did. I was a guest speaker at FITM graduation last year.
Dude.
And
that's enough, man.
You can't make this crap up.
You can't, man.
And my daughter went, and of course, like we live in Oxnard, and I come down here, I do what I need to do with the business and like these kind of things, and then I go home and I'm just dad.
Yeah.
And well, now they follow me on Instagram, so they can kind of get an idea of what's going on. But
behind the scenes with Dad.
Yeah, but my daughter, she was sitting front row, and then next to she was the head of fashion for Arizona State University, and then of course I'm like
Amazing.
On the stage with the founder of FITM and all the faculty and staff and whatnot. And I told my story, during my speech, and on the way home, she was in tears. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. It's tough. You've got kids. So,
yeah.
And she's like, I had no idea, Dad, like that you had done all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hopefully it inspires you. And, I told her, you got to find your mission and purpose. And, just as you all have supported me, I'm going to do the same.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah. I said, just don't join the Marine Corps.
Yeah, especially now. It's not the same.
No. I advise, both my kids, if military service, it's a calling.
Right.
If they get the calling, I would prefer they go in as officers, like finish, college and kind of, let's level up. But I support them, 100%. It's one of the most honorable things that you can do. And it really helped. It helped shape me. Honestly, it helped. Even though I was like older and I get over there, I thought I wasn't disciplined. I ended up being the most disciplined person in the platoon. So I was like, damn.
Yeah. Well,
that wasn't it. But again, it's so important to find a purpose, find that mission to help keep you going. Keep the roommates in your head at bay. Whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is. And in this whole journey, like you think about it, for me, it's, it's a blue jean.
Yeah.
Something as simple as a blue jean that most people take for granted, and I nerd out on to the nth degree, and what I'm able to do with it. And I'm really, really proud of those moments where I can be of service to these service members that have lost limbs, and I've done a few more after Josue. One of them's a jiu-jitsu instructor, the other one's a power lifter, and then I made a jean and sent it over to Kirstie Ennis, and she just attempted climbing Mount Everest last year.
Amazing.
So amazing, people, amazing souls.
It's interesting because you talk about purpose and you talk about all these stories. And I just got into a book. A buddy of mine, Chris, posted this. And it's funny because I don't know if he posted it as a joke, but when I saw the title, I was like, oh, I got to get into this book. And now I'm into the book. It's called Emotional Intelligence 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's funny. You do need a purpose because that's your target. That's your goal. You need to have direction in life, but more so based on this book, it's the emotional intelligence of being passionate and driven to do these things is so powerful. Like if you read that book and you see what you're doing, your emotional intelligence is like through the roof. And that's where I think people crack. I think that's where people get intimidated. Like, it's like, their regular intelligence is like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that because I'm in this part of my life and I don't know how that's going to happen. But the emotional intelligence of being passionate about accomplishing things and getting through it is so much stronger. And again, just reading this book right now and everything you're talking about, I'm like, dude, that's high in emotional intelligence.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of work to get to this. I mean, I was
of course,
I was broken.
Of course,
I failed 3 quarters in a row at FITM. I was getting kicked out.
Yeah.
Well,
but that's my point.
Yeah.
Your emotional intelligence did not let you quit, and
Exactly.
that is the part. See, if you had weak emotional intelligence, you'd be like, I failed. That's it. I can't do nothing. I have to default. I have to get a job. It's over. But you emotionally, regardless of the up and downs. Here, another example. You failed, but you've also succeeded, and it's never messed with your emotions. It never affected how you're going to handle life. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
There was just, some nights that you couldn't sleep, and
Lots of them.
Because of disappointment. And I'm sure there's some nights you couldn't sleep because of excitement, but like either one, you're still losing sleep and you're dealing with everything properly, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. No, and again, but it takes like a support system. It takes being vulnerable and being able to just be okay by being not okay and not trying to figure it out like yourself, because
That's
quite frankly, like, okay, once you figure it out, then what?
Right.
It's the same thing. You're in the same spot, except now you have it figured out.
Right.
But it's about
and you don't have it figured out. Okay. And what?
Exactly.
You're gonna stop doing everything?
Yeah. But you find tools to get you through those times. You need a team.
Yeah.
Team helps quite a bit.
I think that's the big thing that people don't realize. Like, if you're trying to level up on life and you think you're going to do it by yourself, you're fucking out of your mind, because you're competing against teams all around the world in an industry. So, like, teams is very important.
The right teams.
The right team. But you have to fail,
several times.
Yeah. You have to fail. And we're almost at an hour.
Oh, damn.
Nordstrom.
Denim World, I met Eric Schrader. He put on a documentary called Blue Gold, and he mentored me early on. So he was selling his vintage products over at Lee Papa, which is a store on Abbot Kinney. And Tina, the owner, she's been there for well over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And she calls me frantically one day, and I thought like someone had stolen or broken in, or, my mentality and hearing her voice. And she's just like, no, you'll never believe what happened. And she said, Pier Paolo came, we shut down the store, he did private shopping, and he bought one thing. He loved your jacket.
That's crazy.
And she's like, check his social media. Like, he was so excited, like the fit was spot on and the wash we did on it. And then, so I was checking his social media, and then finally when Valentino released their campaign with Kendall Jenner, and it was, they were riding a bus, the tour bus, through downtown Los Angeles with the song Angel Baby. Yeah.
And he's wearing the jacket.
And he's wearing the jacket. Yeah, all the behind the scenes.
That's so nice.
And I was like, what the heck? And he took a picture in front of the store, but he had it in the bag.
Oh.
Yeah. And so what she did is she's like, look, this is the full amount that he paid for it. She didn't take a commission. She was like, she's such a huge fan of Valentino. She has Valentino Birkenstocks, Valentino,
of course.
all this stuff. So,
That's so cool.
And she's a well-respected businesswoman and a staple of Abbot Kinney. I mean, she owns the Bazaar. She's been there for years.
Wow.
Yeah, right on almost at the corner of Westminster and Abbot Kinney.
Amazing,
So,
man.
yeah,
Good
and
stories.
I would do, did that pop-up, and I'm just taking my trailer around and just doing what
We
you
met
guys
in
saw
Palm
me do.
Springs.
Yeah.
I met Trinidad in Palm Springs. He had a pop-up.
Where did you meet him?
We have to wait for Robert because we need to help.
Yeah.
I met
I
met Trinidad. We met Trinidad at Palm Springs.
Yeah.
At the
Palm Springs biker
Paradise.
Exactly what I said.
That's right.
And you had a beautiful pop-up there. And
Yes.
I'm like, we have to, and from far away I saw the denim. I'm like, wow, the quality of this denim is insane. We should check it out. And that's how we met. Little did we know, Trinidad is a staple in the fashion world. Our ignorance taking the best of us. Taking, se dice?
See?
Sí. Y ya estaba Trini and the same story. You had only one jacket, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a new jacket. It was a sample.
It was the sample.
I stole.
It was a sample.
I didn't steal. I
You
bought.
bought it. No.
Thank you, Robert. I don't need lights. I shine naturally, but I appreciate it. Don't take the light away from Trinidad because then we're gonna have a problem, you and I.
Yes.
No, but Trinidad had the sample, and I'm like, I want the sample, and he was kind enough to sell it for me.
Yeah.
He was giving it there was a deal, right, with the Palm Spring thingy. You were doing like a special deal there.
Right. Yeah.
And,
And I gave you a discount on it.
And I got the jacket, and oh my God, it has received many compliments.
Yeah, and I saw. I mean, you could have picked anything you wanted when you did your new headshots.
Yeah.
I noticed like it surfaced. You can see the
Oh
stuff.
yes, of course.
Yeah.
I'll show you the things. I'll send you a picture so you can use it. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Robert. I'm sorry to have interrupted.
Let's close off with your Nordstrom's deal. The big Nordstrom's deal.
So 2 weeks ago, I got an invite to go up to Seattle and meet with the Nordstrom denim buyers.
Yeah.
So go up there, give them an education on a new denim and my background. They saw the product, and they'll be launching us June timeframe on Nordstrom.com.
So you went out there, you met,
Yeah.
you showed them your denim, you closed the deal, and this is the Trinidad Black Label. Is it called Black Label?
We're doing the Loyal collection and our Black Label. Yeah. On Nordstrom.com. And then just yesterday, I met with the store manager of Nordstrom Mission Viejo.
Yeah.
And her husband's a retired Marine, and she is going to spearhead us, and we'll be doing a pop-up there in store in Mission Viejo.
Dude.
Yeah, next month. So, and again, I mean, we were talking about this, the mindset, right?
Right.
My first meeting with them was March 5th, 2020. I flew up there March 4th. I was looking around, the airplane was empty. I landed about 9:30 in the morning. I get to the hotel. They checked me in and gave me a free upgrade early in the morning.
Yeah.
And this is the Westin.
Wow.
And I go over to get a coffee on Pike's Place, and there was 3 people in there. And 4:30 in the afternoon, I get a phone call from Nordstrom. They said, we have to cancel your appointment tomorrow. We're shutting down for COVID.
Shit.
And I'm in Seattle. And
That's
I was
rough.
like, I call my mom and I'm like,
That's rough.
this happened. Like.
I really appreciate that the first thing you do is you call your mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
I didn't want to get the chocolate again.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, it was a pretty big deal, to be able to get that opportunity to present the collection to Nordstrom. And
Right.
when I designed the jean for the amputee, like we ended up, like I shared before, we were Best Showpiece 2020, and that's how they found out about us. So they found out not because our sales rep was out there like trying to solicit. It was organic, we created a lot of energy, and luckily my buddy Nate Boyer, the co-founder of Emerging Vets and Players, was in Seattle.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a pretty big blow. And then I like, COVID, what's going on? And then one of the buyers was a Marine Corps veteran. So he's like, hey, I feel bad, like you came up here, I can't do anything right now. But he said, I'd like to, at least take a look at what you have. So straight LA street style, on the trunk of the rental car,
Yeah.
I open it up and show.
Old school. Old school.
Yeah, so he saw it, and then I was just like, yeah, this stuff's great, but
Yeah.
but the world shut down. Like March 2019, I think, was like the official, like, shut down.
March, yeah, but 2020.
2020,
Yeah.
2020. But right before the shutdown, they had shipped me several rolls of fabric
Yeah.
of the American salvage denim. So the moment that we switched our denim factory to making masks, the moment we were able to sew garments, we did a small run of selvage and we launched it on 4th of July 2020 online. And everyone's like, what are you doing? This is crazy, and blah, blah, blah. But I said, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I have a mission. So we ended up doing pretty well online. And then from that, we showed in August 2020 in the only trade show in the world, of course, in Texas.
Yeah.
In Dallas, Mexico. And I show up, masked up and everything. And retailers were coming in. We had 12 appointments and we opened up 11 stores because they couldn't get product.
Man.
Yeah, and I'm made in the U.S. I had everything here, so we were able to get going. But with Nordstrom, last year we were they launched us a couple of years ago online, and we did some, we were doing okay. But then last year they ended up dropping us.
They did.
Yeah, they dropped
So
us.
only on the online store, and then they dropped you guys.
They dropped us.
Because of sales, or
And
they
then
just changed companies, or what was the
They're
process?
going through a lot of changes, and
Yeah.
we're probably the best brand people don't know about,
Right,
and small company.
right.
And so fast forward to like
2
now,
weeks ago.
right? They see the new collection. They see I had to make another sample because my good friend Jaime took the one I had.
Yes, you're very welcome.
He bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's an exciting time right now with the brand, and again, like being rooted and launched by Bartels, and again, like denim became an iconic piece because of the bike community.
Yeah.
And again, that's how I met you two gentlemen.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know, through that community.
That's
And
right.
I think in this this time where people are longing for authentic goods and stories and brands with a purpose, I think I know I hit every one of those. But I have 3 degrees from fashion school, and I'm a craftsman, and to me it just fills me with joy, like that. Jaime enjoys the product the way he does, and as I shared before, like the amputees that I design jeans for, like the impact it's making in their lives.
Yeah.
And, I get chills. I mean, I shared earlier on the podcast how, I've been with my wife since '94.
With your wife in 94?
Yeah, I've been with her since 1994. We were high school sweethearts.
That's a lot, no? That's like what, 30?
30.
30 years.
30. And then we would watch with her grandmother, La Fea Más Bella.
Oh my
Yeah, but, I think you've heard of it.
Oh my God! Yeah. Don Fernando. He was kind of crazy. He was kind of.
Yeah, he was out there. But Monday through Friday.
Nice, thank you, man.
I would
That's
go
so cool.
visit my wife. My grandmother had passed away, and her grandmother was mal hablada too. So. Yeah.
Two.
What do you mean by
What do you
that?
mean?
Hold on.
No sé de qué chingados está hablando.
That's hilarious.
So, my grandmother who passed away, I mean, she was like that. So I just felt that connection with her, and that was, to be able to watch a novela with, the grandma, and then, it was pretty entertaining,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Well, I can guarantee you've
Yeah.
never done a podcast like this where Jaime Camil
No.
interrupts it.
Oh, stop it.
No,
We're friends. It doesn't count here because we're all family. We're friends.
No, we're all- And Jaime, you're gonna like this podcast. In the very beginning, that was like the first thing. The moment that we met Trinidad, I didn't know it was your guys' first time. Like,
First time, yeah.
We were talking about how insane it was, how well we hit it off. Because we all literally were hanging out, and then I said how he dorked out, and he started talking about the process of the jeans.
Yeah,
and
of
the
course.
machines.
And the machines.
And he
whatever.
showed us the little, what's that thing called again?
The shuttle loom.
The shuttle loom. And we're like, what is this in the pictures? It was such a crazy experience.
Yeah.
That from day one we hit it off, and this is the second time that we've gotten together.
Yeah.
And I heard some pretty great stories about how he started in this industry, where he was making jeans for people that have prosthetic legs and stuff like that.
But fíjate, it's very important to understand when somebody has the it factor,
Yeah.
I'll wait for you. Don't worry, Robert.
No, it's okay.
I got your back.
I'll jump in natural, not that.
No, when somebody has the it factor, it's incredible. I remember we went there. I want to be honest with you, Robert and I, we don't like those events. We think they're pretentious.
Yeah.
We think they're nonsensical. But we wanted to ride. We are riders, so we wanted to ride. We wanted to do a long ride to Palm Springs. And the event was an excuse. Honestly, we really didn't care about that. When we go up and we have some some clothing here. So I'm like, well, let's go up. So we go up. The second floor. Boop. Immediately, out of all the junk they sell, because they sell a lot of ¿cómo se llama? Garage sale y ¿cómo se llama? Drifters.
Sí,
vintage, all that.
Así de segunda.
Exacto, todo de second hand, ¿no? Cuando pum, inmediatamente allá, ¿verdad? We walked, boom, directly to your little pop-up, directly.
Yeah. And we signed up the day before. We weren't going to do it.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then they put us like in the corner with the vintage and everything, and like I had told and shared with with both of you from day one, like, it doesn't matter to me. If you have one listener, I'm gonna come and share my story.
100%.
No,
That's very kind of you, because he does have one listener, so thank you.
Well, now
he's right here.
Well, now too, because I brought Simon.
Well, they had. Well, to their defense, they had cool.
Yeah.
There's a woman that has the Adwild. You know the brand Adwild?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She's very cool.
Yeah.
She does cool things for girls, and my wife loves her brand. But other than her and you, that's it.
Yeah.
That was the only
No,
thing.
no por nada. Like I have the privilege, of Jaime, and we're friends, and we go to a lot of places.
Oh yeah.
There's not many things he stops for. If anything, I think this was like the second event, like biker event that we've gone to, because it's just people want to get drunk and they want to have fun and they want to show up. I get it, that's cool, but we're just not into that.
Yeah.
And the simple fact of just like we just want to ride. Anyway, my point is, I've been enough places that there's not many things that he'll stop for.
No.
He is.
And I don't need I God knows I don't need another denim jacket. Like, believe me.
Dude, we've given each other I'm like, bro, I have this, but he's like, I have this. Like, it's absurd. We don't need it. But your stuff is legit. Yeah. I'm gonna end it on this note. You get some coffee right now. Hermano, first of all, your story, amazing. Your wife, your kids, the Marine Corps, the ups and downs, your emotional intelligence is through the roof. I want to say congratulations. I wish you much more success. The Frankie Loya, the Nordstroms, the Jaime Camil shout out, the Valentine. I mean, bro, you're blessed. You're blessed. You're killing it. Continue doing whatever you're doing. And I just wish you nothing but success. And I thank you for being on my podcast.
I thank you for the invite and your authenticity from day one.
Thank you.
And you are the type of people that I love to surround myself with.
Thank you, brother. It means
thank you.
It means a lot coming from you. Till next time.
Oh yeah.